What is up there, guys? My name is Sovrez, and today I am back bringing you some more Conan Exiles. Super excited. Sort of. Well, I'm bringing you the newest updated server settings. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it so that we can look and see what the server settings are. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Go down to settings, over here, server settings, and you can see right here at the top we have server password. Of course, this is where you're going to add the password to prevent any unwanted players from joining your server. Next, you have the admin password, and this is where you're going to add the password that allows players to have access to the admin panel. Right here, we have Battle Eye enabled. Obviously, this is boxed out, so you can't check it, but this is where you would be able to check, use Battle Eye, or uncheck, don't use Battle Eye. PvP enabled, once again, grayed out here, but check it for PvP, uncheck it, it's PvE only. Then you have the community right here. This drop-down menu allows you to label your server as one of the following: purist, relaxed, hardcore, role-playing, or experimental. It's basically a designation to help other players know what to expect when playing on your server. Next here we have the server region. You can pick between EU, America, and Asia. Then you have no ownership. You can check this or uncheck this. This box prevents anyone from owning anything on the server. It's some sort of crazy free-for-all of items, loot, structures, everything. Then you have right here, can damage player-owned structures. Of course, check it if you want raids to happen on player structures. So if you don't want anyone's base to be raided, blown up to smithereens because they put a lot of time into it, go ahead and uncheck that. Then you have enable Sandstorm. This, of course, is the Sandstorm mechanic that is in the game. Uncheck it if you don't want it. Clan size, you have max clan size here, all the way from 1 person per clan up to 60 people in a clan. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit there. Oh, pass it up. Maximum nudity. This has 3 settings right here. This drop down allows for no nudity, partial nudity, or full nudity. Go ahead and choose that how you want it to be on your server. Just to let you know, if you don't want to play at that setting, go ahead and go over to your gameplay and you can set right here the nudity level for your specific client. You don't have to worry about that. But back over here we have the progression, and you have, of course, the player XP rate multiplier. This slider allows a player to gain faster or gain experience faster than normal, meaning the intervals at which the player can gain experience from a time, kill, harvesting, crafting, etc. just goes up. So go ahead and move the slider to the right will increase the rate at which you gain experience, or move it to the left to decrease that. And an example is if you log into the game and the XP time multiplier is set to 1.0, you can gain 1 experience every 5 seconds. But if you move that XP rate multiplier all the way from right here, 1.0, somewhere, there it is, all the way to 2.0, you're basically going to say that you're going to gain that same 1 experience every 2.5 seconds. Now it's just coming faster. So be careful. This is going to be really powerful in adjusting the rates for all these other multipliers here. This is probably the most powerful one. Then you have the player XP time multiplier. This slider allows a player to gain more or less experience at a rate adjusted from, you know, less to more. Of course, all these are going to be less to more, left to right. Less, more, just like that. But this basically says that instead of getting 1 experience every 5 seconds, you move it to the right, you put 2.0, you'd gain 2 experience every 5 seconds, so on and so forth, as you move that slider further to the right. Then you have the player kill multiplier. This, of course, gives you more experience when you kill NPCs, minions, players, things like that, anything that you kill. Player harvest multiplier is the same thing. Every time that you harvest something, every time you gather stone, wood, plant fiber, anything like that. Then you have the player XP craft multiplier. This, of course, is what is going to give you more experience when you craft items, turning plant fiber into twine, or crafting a shield, or building parts, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more to the day-night cycle. First thing you see right here is the day cycle speed. This slider makes the server's day and nights come faster. For example, let's say your average day, I think, is 25 minutes and your average night is like 5 minutes. So total day night is 30 minutes. You can go ahead and, you know, move it to the right. It's going to make that faster. In fact, it's going to be shorter time. So it might be from 25, you put it at 2.0. It might be 20 minutes a day and 4 minutes a night. I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know the exact calculations. But basically, moving it to the right makes the day cycle go faster. Moving it to the left makes it go shorter. Daytime speed, this is what most people are going to adjust. Move it to the right, this makes your day last longer. So from 25, you move it all the way over here, you might have like an hour worth of day. Move it to the left to lower it. Nighttime, you want to have more than 5 minutes night, you go ahead and move it over here. You can get up to maybe like 10, 15 minutes. If you guys know what the numbers are, you have some calculations, go ahead and throw them down in the comments for all the other users. I know they're going to be asking, what are the actual calculations for this? Unfortunately, I don't know. I'm just here to explain what these sliders are and, you know, which way to move them for, you know, making your server settings a little bit better. Dawn dusk time speed is the difference, or the time interval between midnight or nighttime and day, and then daytime and night. It's just being able to speed up that transitional twilight period. Catch up time, this is a pretty important one here for a lot of you guys. This setting is used for new players entering your server. It allows a new player to join the game at a specified time. This is not a rate, this is a time of day, all the way from 1 a.m. to midnight. You set it there and you say this is where the new players are going to join, and they will continue playing on this time until the server catches up to them. So that way that they don't have to jump in at midnight, unless of course you want them to jump in the middle of the night and just die immediately. Go ahead and adjust out, you know, to like, you know, 22, 23, something like that. But let's go ahead and scroll down some to survival here. So survival has lost a few of their sliders here, but we do have the stamina cost multiplier. This basically states that the stamina cost for sprinting, jumping, fighting, etc. can be adjusted. Move it to the right. It should give these things less cost. Move to the left, I think it gives it more cost. I believe that is it. If this is not the correct one, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But basically it allows you to perform more or less actions that require stamina as you increase or decrease this. We'll put it back at 1.0. Thirst multiplier and hunger multiplier are going to react the same. It basically depends on how fast, it lets you know how fast you will get thirsty or hungry. This is basically going to mean that you're going to need to eat or drink more often or less often depending on how you slide this. Slide it to the right, it should be more often. Sliding it to the left should be less often. Then you have these boxes down here to check, which is logged out characters remain in world. Go ahead and check that if you want people's bodies to remain just lying on the ground wherever they logged out. Go ahead and uncheck it if you want them to fully come out of the world. Next, you have drop equipment on death. This basically tells you what it does. If a player dies, their equipment is going to just drop right there. They're not going to respawn with their equipment back at their bed or back at the beginning. You know, they'll have to go back and find their body to get their equipment back. Then you have right here another one that is closely associated with that is everyone can loot corpse. This means that should you die, anybody, a friend who wants to pick up your stuff to help you can loot your corpse, or a foe who killed you and wants to just take all your stuff, you know, will loot your corpse. Moving down, speaking of foes, you have combat right here. We have the NPC respawn multiplier. This is another one that's lost a lot of sliders here, combat. But we do have the NPC spawn respawn multiplier, the spawn remultiplier. That's what we should have for this. But it basically states how fast or slow NPCs can respawn in the game. This includes any kind of creatures, undead, NPC people that are like just running around like other exiles. Moving it to the right, they're going to respawn faster. Moving it to the left, they're going to respawn slower. Thrall wake up time is not a multiplier, but instead it is just a number. Right now, this is 600 seconds, which if I'm not mistaken is 10 minutes. Once you knock a thrall out, they're unconscious for 10 minutes. You can go all the way down to 300, which is 5 minutes, 1200, which is 20 minutes. Set it wherever you want it to be for that unconscious time. Avatar lifetime. This is the amount of time that an avatar, once summoned into the game, will remain around to kick butt and take names. Right now it's set at 60 seconds. You can move it all the way down to the 30 seconds or all the way up to 120 seconds or 2 minutes. Then you can go ahead and decide if you don't want the avatars at all, just check this box right here that says disable avatars, and the avatars will no longer be available in the game. Moving down to harvesting. Harvesting has a few that are still around. These are all pretty much the same. Item spoil rate scale determines how fast or slowly items, specifically food, will spoil and decay. Moving the slider to the left will cause the items to spoil much more slowly, but moving the slider to the right will increase the rate, making items spoil faster. Harvest amount multiplier. This slider adjusts how much resource you receive from harvesting. So if you want to make sure that you are going to have to harvest less to get more resources because you want to build a giant epic empire city, whatever you want to do, go ahead and slide that sucker to the right all the way up to 10.0. Harvesting 10 times. You may see servers that say that harvesting 10 times. This is what it means. You will get 10 times the normal amount when harvesting. Move it all the way to the left if you really want to have a hard time gaining resources. Resource respawn multiplier. This is very much like the NPC one. This tells you how fast from fully harvesting a resource until it comes back. So move it to the left to make it take longer. Move it to the right to make things respawn much faster. Land claim radius multiplier. This basically states that if you were to put an item down, some sort of structure. I know a lot of people have complained about campfires everywhere. Campfires don't allow you to build near them because they are a structure that someone placed down. So you can go ahead and if you are upset by that, go ahead and decrease that to a quarter of the distance. So when someone puts a campfire, you can still build pretty close to it because it now only takes up a quarter of the land that it did before, or move it all the way up to 2.5 times, and you can put a campfire anywhere near another one, and that's just way to take up some land if you want to claim some land or just be a pain in the butt, if of course that is the way it is. Then you have right here, you have crafting, the crafting speed multiplier. Crafting is another one that has lost a lot of its sliders, and we are down to 1. This is basically a slider that determines how fast items and structures can be crafted. Moving the slider to the left will make things craft way faster, which is what you want to do. Moving it to the left or moving to the right is going to be ridiculously slow. I don't know why you would want to do that. I believe on my server, I actually have it set for all players to be able to craft really fast at 0.1, just because crafting takes a while. It even takes a while at 0.1. Then you have right here chat. Chat local radius is basically a distance. I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably in meters. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's meters because the world size is measured in kilometers. So right now it's currently set at 5,000 meters. Sliding the button to the left will make the radius of the chat smaller. So if you're chatting local, you can go all the way to nothing, all the way up to 20,000 meters, which is like, what, 20 kilometers. That's probably the majority of the world. Everyone will be in local chat. Then you have max message length, currently set at 512 characters. You can move it all the way up to 1,024 characters, or all the way down to nothing. Apparently, you're not going to let anyone type. Go ahead and put it at 140 if you wanted people to be tweeting their messages back and forth. I believe that's the Twitter length. Then you have chat has global. Chat has global. This box allows for global chat if checked, or no global chat if unchecked. Region access controls are exactly the same as before, but this means that the region allow, go ahead and check these boxes if you want players from these regions: Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Central Europe, Western Europe, North America, South America, and Oceania. If you want them to play on your server, go ahead and leave them checked. They can come in. If you want to block specific countries, I don't like those Canadians. Don't let those Canadians play on my server. Go ahead and look up the country code for Canada and put that right in there and block those Canadians from your server. Or if you don't like people from Wales, find the Welsh country code and put it in there and block those Welsh people from joining your server. That is pretty much it right there. Let's go ahead and not apply any of that stuff because I don't want to do that. But anyway, so if you really enjoyed that and you found that these server settings or just the explanation of them is helpful, or you were wondering, Sovrez, dude, I looked at your other videos. You have way more settings than I am able to find in-game. Well, that's what this video is for. It's just an update to let you know that the server settings have been adjusted by the developers, and this is what we are looking at now. If you want to know what I'm wearing or what I'm standing at, go ahead and leave me a comment down below asking me, and I'll reply and let you know. If you already know, go ahead and throw that in the comment as well and tell the other people so they don't have to ask me what it is I am wearing and what it is I am standing on. If you found this information to be helpful, please go ahead and find that thumbs up button, then click, flick, or hit it for me because I'm really going to appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about this video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe for more awesome videos and information just like this one. And as always, my friends, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.